What is packing with you, YouTube? Cage TV back with another video. Happy Victory Monday, Happy New Year. Here on this channel, we talk about the greatest football team in sports history, the Green Bay Packers. And we gonna break down some of these scenarios with the playoffs. With the Packers having the 7th spot right now. I kind of think I know where the NFL is. This is just my opinion and my assumption, how they gonna play this whole playoff series out. So let's just go over it. Of course, you got both number one teams in the AFC and NFC. The Ravens at 13-3, the 49ers at 12-14. They get the bye. You got the Dolphins, second spot, Chiefs in the third. Browns, they get the 5th seed. Then you got the Jaguars, Buffalo Bills, and the Colts. So let's just break down the AFC first. Yeah, we'll talk about the Ravens. They get a bye. So we got the Dolphins facing off against the Colts. The Colts have a 54% chance of making the playoffs. They 9-7, second in the AFC. Right? They got the same record as the Jaguars. So I think those two, if the Jaguars lose and the Colts win, then I think they flip flop. If I'm not mistaken, then you got the Buffalo Bills, who I don't know if they clinched yet. I don't know if they clinched the playoffs yet. What are they? Yeah, they 10-6. So the Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills, they got to play the last game of the season, and I think it's winner take all for the division. Yeah, I think it's winner take all for the division, and the Buffalo Bills might have a chance to move up into the second spot, and the Dolphins could possibly fall to the 6th seed. But I don't think that's going. Yeah, that might happen. That might happen. But we're gonna just talk about what we see now. After next week, then we'll come back and try to break it down even further. Okay, so you got the Dolphins facing off against the Colts. Think the Dolphins gonna win. Think they'll beat the Colts. Then you have the Chiefs facing off against the Buffalo Bills. I think the Buffalo Bills will beat the Chiefs. Then you got the Jaguars facing off against the Browns. I think the Browns will beat the Jaguars. And then you have the Ravens. After they bye, they will have to face off against the Buffalo Bills. I think the Buffalo Bills will have a chance to knock the Ravens off. I think the Buffalo Bills will have a chance to knock the Ravens off, or this might be a defining game for Lamar Jackson, because I don't think he's won a home playoff game. So it might be a chance for him to win his first home playoff game. So you got to pay attention to that. And then, of course, Josh Allen is the Madden cover athlete this year. And of course, he got to be in the playoffs because Madden is marketing him. So you got to have the Madden cover boy, in the playoffs. But if I'm the NFL, I think they let the Buffalo Bills beat the Ravens. I think they let the Buffalo Bills beat the Ravens. In a huge upset, take everybody money. And then I think the Dolphins will lose to the Browns. And I think the Chiefs, let me see, 2 play 7, 3 play 6. Yeah. I think the Chiefs will be eliminated. The Bills will play the Ravens. I think the Dolphins will lose to the Browns. I think the Browns will beat the Dolphins. And the AFC Championship, It probably could be Browns versus Buffalo or Dolphins versus Buffalo, but I think if the NFL want to make some big time money, I think they let the Dolphins beat the Browns, get Joe Flacco out of there, and I think the Dolphins and Buffalo or Ravens and the Dolphins will meet up in the AFC Championship. I think they'll meet up in the AFC Championship. Now let's get to the NFC. The juiciest division of them all right now. And of course, the San Francisco 49ers have the bye. Then you have the Cowboys at the second seed. And I just want you Eagles fans to know, this is the reason why you lost all those games. Pay attention. Things have to come full circle with these storylines, right? And I've been saying that a lot in my videos. And here we go with one of the most craziest storylines that they have presented us with this playoff. You got Mike McCarthy, present coach of the Cowboys, former coach of the Green Bay Packers. He's probably going to face off against the Packers. Remember, McCarthy went back to Lambeau last year and got his ass kicked. This time, I think the Cowboys return the favor to the Green Bay Packers. I think the Cowboys will beat the Packers, send us home. But I think it's important that the Packers make the playoffs for the NFL. I just think it's important that we are in the playoffs. Jordan Love has had a very, very, very good first season. Probably better than a lot of dudes that came in their first season playing quarterback. You could probably put his numbers and match it up to any of these big time quarterbacks now and in the past. And I think Jordan Love will probably etch a lot of them out. But he's been on track. You're starting to see the media speak up a little bit more about Jordan Love and saying, "Oh, he's the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers." You're starting to see more growth. You're starting to see more maturity at the quarterback position for Jordan Love, and it's a great storyline for the NFL. But it will come to an end. But we will cross this road somewhere down in the future where Jordan Love will have to face off against the Cowboys again to get his get back. But yeah, I think the Cowboys beat the Packers. Then the Lions, here we go again. Another full circle situation. Now, everybody has been saying, wow, look at the red hot Rams. Look at them. Watch how this is going to play out. Look at the red hot Rams, right? And it is so funny that Matt Stafford will be going back to Detroit to face off against the Lions, his old team. See how the NFL be doing shit? You gotta pay attention to the entertainment, man. That's weird to me how they got 4 teams that have some recent history with each other right now. Mike McCarthy, Green Bay Packers, Matt Stafford, Lions. That's gonna be a hard game. Man. But I think I would love to see the Rams win. That way they have to go and play the 49ers, and the 49ers whip their ass. But damn. Will the NFL let the Lions get a home playoff win? Will they let them get a home playoff win? That is the question, man. And I'm leaning more to that. I think the Lions beat the Rams, and Buccaneers. Think the Lions beat the Rams. And then you have the wow. The Eagles might have to go on the road because the Buccaneers, they might lose the division if the Saints win. And if the Saints win, the Packers get the tiebreaker. We're going to be in the playoffs regardless if the Saints win because we beat them already. We just have to watch out for the Seahawks, man. We just got to watch out for the Seahawks and see what they do, who they play. I think they're going to lose to the Cardinals. And that way the Packers will get in. But this Buccaneers and Saints situation is a little weird. You know what I'm saying? If the Saints get that 4th spot, I think that'll be a better game against the Eagles. I don't know. Baker Mayfield is hurt, so you gotta watch that. But either way, I think the Eagles will win. Man. That way, they will have to face off against the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. That'll be a big money game, big time matchup for both fan bases. And I think the Cowboys will beat them. I think the Cowboys going to beat the Eagles in the playoffs, which will lead to the 49ers playing against the Lions. Now, I would rather the Rams and the 49ers go at it because, we forget that the Rams beat the 49ers in an NFC championship game. You know what I'm saying? But I think I don't know, man. The NFL might try to let the Lions go on the road to San Francisco and get their ass whooped. Either way, I think the 49ers going to win their games. They're going to be at home. And then I think the matchup for the NFC championship game is probably going to be the Cowboys versus the 49ers in San Francisco. And I think the Cowboys have a real good chance of beating the 49ers, the second time around. You know what I'm saying? And that will tell you where the narrative of the storyline of the NFL is going this season. And, I think it might be in the Super Bowl, it might be Ravens against the 49ers, Ravens against the Cowboys, Buffalo against the Cowboys. The Chiefs could probably get hot, you know what I'm saying, and go on a little run in the playoffs and probably get there, and it'd be the Cowboys against the Chiefs. So those are a few of my scenarios. I think will pan out with the Super Bowl, but we'll get closer to who we think gonna be the two teams hosting the Super Bowl in Las Vegas once the playoff starts and we see how this all pans out. But yeah, man, if I'm going with a Super Bowl matchup, I think it could be the 49ers and the Buffalo Bills, man, or the Cowboys and the Buffalo Bills. Lamar Jackson don't have a home playoff win. He probably won't get the home playoff win. He might, but I don't think the NFL want to see the 49ers and the Ravens face off against each other again, even though, that was one of the biggest narrative games this season that people still talking about. So, yeah, man, it's going to get real interesting, man. Like, we've seen some crazy things this year. We've seen the Seattle Seahawks beat the Eagles. We've seen the Cardinals beat the Eagles. We've seen a lot of these good teams get beat by teams you wouldn't expect them to lose to. Like, we've seen the San Francisco 49ers lose to the Booty Hole Browns. We've seen the San Francisco 49ers lose to the Bengals. You know what I'm saying? So, matter of fact, the San Francisco 49ers, they lost to they lost to the Bengals, Ravens, and the Browns. You know what I'm saying? The only team they beat in the AFC North was the Steelers. So keep that in mind. You know what I mean? So it's going to be an interesting playoffs. I think that's where the NFL is going to make a big chunk of their change, man, this year. And I would love to see the Packers come in at a 7 seed spot and get red hot and go on a crazy run. But, you got to go with things that make sense. You got to go with things that make sense. You got to go with what's being pushed through the media, and if you can see what they're trying to push, then you will be able to figure out how some of this stuff is being shown to us. So yeah, man, just to cap off this video, I think it's important that the Packers make the playoffs this year. We've seen that with the Eagles. People forget Jalen Hurts' first playoff game was against the Seattle Shithawks against Russell Wilson, and they lost. And then the following year, they go on a big run. I'm not saying that's going to happen with the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love, but it has some kind of similarities there. But all we can do is wait and see, and then we'll be able to understand the outcomes and understand why things went the way they went. So we got, playoffs, got to beat the Bears next week, which I think is probably going to be a fun game between two teams. The Bears have been eliminated, but, of course, teams that have been eliminated, they like to play upset. And I think the Chicago Bears, I think they're going to come ready to play the Green Bay Packers. It's our last home game of the season, and we got to make it a good one and win out. I think the scenarios to where we needed to get the 7 seed spot played out this past week with the Steelers beating the Eagles and the Bears beating the Falcons. And now we get the keys to control our destiny, and hopefully we could walk to that door, unlock it, open it, and walk through that door to the next phase, which is the playoffs. I want to see Jordan Love in the playoffs, despite of what's going on with this Packer fan base and Joe Barry, and the fans wanting coaches fired. Let's just take a chill pill and appreciate where we are now with this young team. It didn't look pretty at the beginning of the season, but we seeing the progress and the growth of what this team has become now, despite all the injuries and all of the in-house stuff that's going on with the players and the coaches and the GM. Just appreciate what this team has done this year. It was a beautiful, beautiful season to see these young guys grow up, especially, with our tight ends. Like I said, I think we got two of the best tight ends in this last draft out of the three, Sam Laporta, and then I think it's Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft. I mean, you got Dalton Kincaid over there too, who I think is a top 4 tight ends that got picked in this draft. But the Green Bay Packers, they did a good job picking those guys up. And now they get a chance to get some playoff experience. I know Luke Musgrave is on a 21 IR window, so I'm pretty sure we probably get him back. I don't know if it's going to be this last week of the season, but I'm pretty sure he's probably going to be back ready to play in the playoff game if that opportunity is there for us to participate in. But yeah, Aaron Jones is back. Still got to deal with A.J. Dillon and his thumb injury. I don't know what happened with Eric Stokes. Maybe he had a setback. I thought he was going to play this past week, but, we didn't really need him, especially when you see, Corey Valentine and this young defensive secondary, taking care of business out there on the field against the Vikings, even though they did play with a 5th-string quarterback, but then they brought in Nick Mullins at the end of the game just so Vegas could cover the spread. Come on, guys, pay attention. So, yeah, man, we got a lot to look forward to with this team. I'm excited, win or lose. I just want to see them I just want to see the Packers perform in the playoffs, just to see what we got and what we got to look forward to going into next season. I think that's very important that the NFL take a look at the Packers and see how good they could be in the next upcoming years, because I tell you, boy, we going to be a force to be reckoned with these next few years if everybody stay healthy and this team matures a little bit more and guys start to understand the importance of the position that they play on this team to be successful. Watch out. So with that being said, man, let's start the new year off right. Let's be smart. Let's be safe. And let's always keep a great attitude. It's your man Cage TV, and I'm out.